A One and a Two is a movie about love and heartbreak. The little boy in the film, Yang Yang, shows us the purest representation of love as he takes in the hobby of photography. He tries to capture the sides of stories that people do not see, such as the back of their own head. Our next character, NJ, does not want to relive his youth with Sherry because he can't afford what happens if he leaves his wife and daughters. He left Sherry initially because she was part of the group of people that pressured him into computer engineering. He wanted to study music, against the wishes of his parents. He tells Sherry in the future on their trip together in Japan that he loves her, but not enough to leave behind his life. We see an important parallel with his daughter Ting Ting going on a date with her first love, whom she is a rebound for. These are the two scenes that we're going to talk about.
你也认识他很久了，他是什么样的一个人，你也很了解啊。
那你对他呢？
我想他干嘛？在我的心里，只有你。
Firstly, these scenes show how these two characters, Ting Ting and her first love, are similar to NJ and his first love, Sherry. So her and her dad are linked through their experiences even though they don't realize it. In a lot of scenes, they mirror each other, which connects how their experiences with their first loves are truthfully super similar. We see how also warm colors are used in scenes where each character feels warm and fulfilled, and isolated in scenes with cooler tone colors. The soft lighting in the scenes brings the cinematography together. It allows us to experience the scenes in the way that the characters do, which is surely what the director intended. The water in the scenes might symbolize the fluidity of each character's thoughts, as both Ting Ting and her father face confusion with dealing with love, albeit for different reasons. These scenes specifically describe Ting Ting's situation, and we receive an almost magical experience as we grapple to understand her honest feelings for this guy, who clearly had a crush on Lee the entire time.
我人好累啊，我想进去睡觉，可能一觉到天亮。
那明天早上一起叫你吃早餐。
希望你晚上一切谈得顺利。
This is a scene of NJ and Sherry in a closed, tight space, which represents how he's shutting down the possibilities of happiness that Sherry offered him in that large room. Even after he initially left her, we see that the connection is still there. Shortly after their conversation in this scene, they both say that each person was the only person the other person had ever loved. NJ was stressed out and disappointed in the end, knowing that he could not escape into a peaceful life with Sherry after all these years. That simply proved impossible, as he already had a wife and kids. He feels empty, and the camera doesn't even really zoom in on their faces, so we can use the context of the scene to emotionally convey NJ's conclusion to the melancholic fact that remains. Reliving his youth was unnecessary. You can't turn back time. To conclude, the movie A One and a Two shows how 1 and 1 does not actually equal 2. The movie shows us how two adults could not work things out in their youth, and even two young adults couldn't really make things work. And the adults that couldn't work things out in their youth Sherry and NJ still clearly loved each other, but since they could not make things work in their adulthood either, we see a poetic theme in this movie. Sources that I used are the Yale website, as always, for these film analysis videos, as always, and the movie itself, a 1 and a 2.